Well, this guy definitely changed a lot.
The fire was coming and all that stuff, so I feel lucky.
Are you guys back in?
And I think everybody did a great job.
Yeah.
Unlike the internet, you know?
Yeah, right. I know. It's right.
Oh, my.
Yay, great job. Awkward applause there as people were told to applaud. A lot of them didn't because, yeah, Bill Burr, I think you're living in an alternate reality where, of course, upside down world where left is right, black is white, and your mind absolutely isn't cognitively working. As of course we had water resources depleted, we had fire hydrants without water, we had budget cuts, we had a huge failure of leadership as Los Angeles now is focusing on LA 2.0, a new smart city, as we now have a whistleblower coming forward and talking about more deliberate failures here that absolutely do not equate towards any kind of good job at all. But Bill Burr, for some strange reason, still goes on Jimmy Kimmel and then says this.
Fire experts. Why didn't you just fly a helicopter into the ocean? And then just, I don't know, because there was 100-knot winds? You want to do that? You want to do that at night, you lunatic?
How are you?
This was definitely mismanaged.
That's a big word we're hearing now.
Mismanaged, like some idiot on the internet knows how to manage the worst fire in LA sitting there in his underwear. You know what? Looking at the footage on the internet, I have determined that this here was mismanaged.
Yeah, Bill, because it is, as states deal with particular problems that they usually are used to dealing with, like the state of Florida that's used to dealing with hurricanes. And guess what? The power is back immediately. There's a system, there's a plan, there's actual efficiency within government, which doesn't really happen. But it does actually happen in the state of Florida, where, of course, we aren't as devastated as other states, like in the Carolinas, that aren't used to dealing with natural emergencies that we do. And comparatively, if you look at the way that Florida deals with a lot of their kind of larger natural disaster issues, it is way better, way more effective than the state of California that has failed almost every step of the way here and deserves the utmost criticisms in order to not repeat the same mistakes here, because these wildfires, again, happen routinely. And I understand, hey, it's Mother Nature here, but there's things that could have been done that could have prevented a lot of the fires from expanding the way that they have, as of course already we have 25 people that have died because of these wildfires. Those are the initial numbers. Those numbers are expected to go up. The fire destroyed 12,000 structures, 40,000 plus acres. 88,000 people still remain under a mandatory evacuation order, as 84,000 are still under evacuation. And you're going to tell me that with an estimated $50 to $150 billion in damage, that you're going to sit back here on your high horse as your house didn't burn down, and you're going to say, yeah, everyone did a great job here. Awesome. Good job. Yeah, right. As the quartering responded to this by saying they literally ran out of water. What do you call that? Bill Burr's mask is off now that he's rich and should be ignored like the rest of Hollywood. As Tim Pool also said, Bill is the guy who doesn't read or pay attention by his own admission. He's literally the guy he's describing in this clip, sitting around complaining while in pure ignorance. As Bill Burr definitely has been dealing with a lot of political scrutiny ever since his wife gave the middle finger to Donald Trump at a UFC event, as it definitely does look like he's getting more involved than ever in political discourse that, in my opinion, he has absolutely no grasp of reality on. As of course, let's be real here, and let's have an honest dialogue here, because we are dealing with some of the biggest winds ever recorded in Los Angeles. There is some fake news stories out there, like the fire truck emissions testing story from Oregon that's been going around social media, which government officials are declaring is not true at all, as of course there's video footage and photos of trucks, specifically fire trucks from Oregon, extinguishing fires in the south of California on January 10th. And sure, we could address fake news. We could understand that this is a monumental situation here, but it's also fair to note here that this is a monumental situation of absolute government failure as well. As now we have a news story, according to the LA Times, about an LA fire official that could have been putting fire engines in the Palisades before the fire broke out, but they decided not to. This as the LA Fire Department faced extraordinary warnings of life-threatening winds, and the top commanders decided not to assign firefighters for those emergency deployments that could have helped quail and prevented a lot of these wildfires from absolutely ravaging and growing totally out of control, as there could have been water-carrying fire engines in advance of the fire that could have been ready to go, as fire officials chose not to order the firefighters to remain on duty for a second shift, which could have doubled the personnel on hand and would have helped them have a better grasp on the entire situation. Now, why was this decision particularly made here? We don't know, as again, we're dealing with a lot of politicking here, and it's important to call out some of the failures of the government here in order to prevent them from failing you once again. As Gavin Newsom came out and said that it's dangerous for Elon Musk and Donald Trump to say that their water reserves weren't full, as the fact check there, according to CBS News, reads that the water reserves near the Palisades fire was in fact shut down and empty. This is a fact. As one Twitter user says, here you go, Bill. And I don't know about you, but that's not a job well done here, as the mayor of Los Angeles literally went on vacation, defunded the fire department, canceled hydrant testing, while of course taking some of the money from the fire department and using it for the men's gay choir, because of course that's something that you would expect from a liberal woke politician that prioritizes virtue signaling over, of course, having proper infrastructure, which leftist, communistic, socialistic places always fail to have here. I'm looking at you, Venezuela, as even the LA fire chief is going out and calling out a lot of the failures of the government here, as this lesbian DEI hire even is coming out against the grain and saying, hey, yeah, there was deliberate failures here that led to tremendous amounts of property and life loss. That is significant. That is real.
Our mechanics did and has and will continue to severely impact our ability to repair our apparatus. So with that, we have over 100 fire apparatus out of service. And having these apparatus in the proper amount of mechanics would have helped. And so it did absolutely negatively impact. I want to also be clear that I have, over the last 3 years, been clear that the fire department needs help. We can no longer sustain where we are. We do not have enough firefighters. With that, I have also requested multiple budgets, interim budgets, to show how understaffed, under-resourced, and underfunded the LEFD is. So with that, also, we have clear data that shows the LEFD needs more help. We need 62 more fire stations. These reports also show that we've had a 55% increase in overall call volume since 2010. And guess what? We're doing it with less firefighters.
And of course, let's be real here. There's a failure of leadership. It's not that these guys, quote, did a great job, as of course the conversation should be about the high-ranking politicians that have denied the first responders all the tools and all the assets that they needed to prevent, stop, and quail these larger fires that grew completely out of control here. And that's a nuanced conversation that I think is worth having. And if you agree with that, you should also understand that your life is in your own hands and the government will continue to fail you. And that's why you should go check out wearechange.shop. It's linked in the description below. And by supporting this company, you support us as an independent media organization, as we have been centrally focusing on you becoming the best, strongest, most amazing version of yourself, and more importantly, making you realize that when ish hits the fan, no one is coming to save you, as of course you need to be in tip-top shape. You need to be in the best mental, physical, cognitive function that you could be. And that's why we started wearechange.shop. We got a lot of really good stuff available to you, like Common Sense Creatine, a great product that is absolutely incredible for your mind, for your body. I love taking it. I've been taking it for 6 months. I've been getting a lot of great gains at the gym. I've been stopping myself from posting a lot of selfies at the gym mirror. But regardless of that, just know that this is a real deal. 99.99% pure creatine. Some of the best stuff out there. Really great, especially for postmenopausal women. Incredible stuff, especially when it comes to cognitive memory and function. That is top-notch stuff out there that could, of course, help support you become the best independent version of yourself without the need of government. Wearechange.shop. Click on any product. We have videos available about them on all of these particular websites, and it goes towards supporting this independent media organization, which your support is desperately needed through all the crazy stuff that, of course, we are going through, as a lot of people in Los Angeles. They're also going through a very difficult situation. There's a lot of great people like Mike Cernovich and Chef Gruel that are absolutely raising funds, donating food to that you should go and also support. As the Wall Street Journal is now also reporting how there's a lot of homeowners that are dealing with looters, as a lot of leftists, a lot of liberals, a lot of Hollywood actresses like Julia Roberts that previously championed BLM are now complaining about looters robbing and stealing her property at her personal home. As of course, sadly, we are seeing the worst in some people through these disastrous situations that I think we should be doing everything in our power to call out and hold our elected officials responsible for, since clearly, in my opinion, they absolutely dropped the ball here. And if you agree with that, share this video with your friends and family members, because it's pretty clear the people of LA are absolutely screwed. Tucker Carlson had a very interesting theory about what was going on here, specifically connected to meth heads. As again, Gavin Newsom is still trying to, of course, save face here, as a lot of people are looking at him and specifically saying, hey, you failed us and you should absolutely resign. And I think particularly with his failed leadership here, that's the right thing to do here. As of course, the conversations that he's having are a little ridiculous here.
I get it. They want to take us. I get it. I'm not naive. I get the California derangement syndrome. I've been living with that for years and years. New scum. You know, the same 7th grade. I remember the guy on Baltimore Avenue that called me new scum. I was in 7th grade. I can handle that. We'll leave that aside. I understand what they're trying to do. I want to work with them. It's not about me. It's about people that we both represent. He represents and I represent. And I'm honored and proud to represent these folks. And
those folks that are going to be getting a LA 2.0 smart grid city that is probably going to be rebuilt in the larger corporate globalist visions of mass housing rather than, of course, individual housing that is now burnt down, as a lot of people sadly will deal with serious issues with insurance, serious issues with permitting and rebuilding, that the state will only make that much worse. Bill Burr, you were wrong. I think it's fair to say here that his assessment is absolutely incorrect, and the truth of this situation should be spoken far and wide. If you agree, share this video. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.